Hello and welcome back to another PAP Reports. Today is Wednesday the 22nd of January 2020. Today we're starting with something which can only be described as an absolute joke. John Nichols, formerly of Cambridgeshire Police Force and formerly called Phillip Richardson, he changed his name, and formerly a scout leader, has been sentenced to 15 months in jail. Suspended, of course, for 24 months by Judge Barbara Mensah at Luton Crown Court. Now, with a name like Mensah, never mind. 49-year-old John Nicholls Phillip Richardson was arrested on the 16th of May last year by Bedfordshire Police, who raided the married officer's home in Cambridgeshire, where an iPad and 3 laptops were removed. Once the items had been examined, officers found 99 Category A still and moving images, the most serious level, 208 Category B and 218 Category C, the least serious level, and 1 image of a baby being raped. An interview after his arrest, Nichols Richardson gave a no comment response but handed a prepared statement apologising and saying he would seek help. Yeah, alright son, of course you will. Ms Minal Raj said Nichols had experienced traumas in his childhood. A friend had drowned, he saw his vicar die in front of him, and he had been abandoned by his father. Okay, so a friend died. It's not nice, but hardly going to push someone into child porn. Your vicar died? What the fuck has that got to do with anything? Unless, of course, he was your mentor in paedophilia. Not that we'll ever get him to confess now, will we? And as for being abandoned by your father, well, can you imagine if everyone from a broken home used that bullshit excuse and got away with it? It'd be fucking open season on all of our kids. You know, they'd need eyes in the back of their fucking heads. Now, although Judge Judge Mensah suspended his sentence, she did push out the boat a bit in the extras and ordered that he must attend a Horizon sex offender programme. I don't know why they name it Horizon. I mean, why don't you name it something really shameful? So when people say, where are you going? You've got to tell them something that's, really going to remind you what a bastard you are. He also has to carry out 20 days of a rehabilitation activity requirement and 200 hours of unpaid work, along with £300 in cost. So that works out to about 60 pence compensation to each of the kids who had to suffer for his gratification. In addition, he must register as a sex offender and abide by the terms of the Sexual Harm Prevention Order for 10 years. An NSPCC spokesperson said, by downloading these horrific images, he has helped fuel a vile trade that thrives on the sexual abuse of children. More must be done by tech companies and governments to prevent this vile material being published and to ensure it is quickly removed when it does appear online. Well, that's all well and good, NSPCC, but what are the child protection officers going to do if they can't sit in front of computers all day long? Can you imagine their faces when they're told to go and investigate a real-life grooming gang? Sorry, Sarge, you're trying to tell me there's a gang of barbers out there? Grooming gang? Barbers? Never mind. Our currently most talked about police force. Next, West Yorkshire. A West Yorkshire police constable who is said to have driven to work while over the legal drink driving limit is to face a misconduct hearing. PC Julie Wilby arrived for her shift at the West Yorkshire force at 7 AM on September the 24th, driving from her home 3 miles away. She was required to undergo a breathalyser test at 8 AM that day, although I don't know if it's a routine thing for police drivers to take a breath test before they go out every day or if somebody smelled alcohol on her breath. The reading was 35 micrograms of alcohol per 100 millilitres of breath, and the legal limit is 35 micrograms of alcohol per 100 millilitres of breath. A statement on West Yorkshire Police's website reads, it is alleged that PC Wilby drove to work at a time when, on a balance of probabilities, she would have been over the legal limit to drive, and that she attended work and commenced her shift when she was unfit for duty. It's one of those days you wish you'd slept through your alarm. It is alleged that PC Wilby has breached the standards of professional behaviour in respect of fitness for work, orders and instructions and discreditable conduct. The misconduct hearing is due to take place on Monday and Tuesday. But fair play for actually taking action, even though she was literally just on the limit. Last year, the rollout of a new emergency service network was supposed to have been started. However, repeated delays has put the project more than £3 billion over budget and still without an end date in sight. This has meant that County Durham and Darlington police forces have had to spend almost £750,000 on radio equipment that at some point is just going to be useless. According to a National Audit Office report on the project, the predicted final cost has ballooned by £3.1 billion to £9.3 million by 2037, with £1.4 billion being spent on extra systems to replace the current ones. The bill for the force comes as the Police Crime and Victims Commissioner prepares to set the council tax precept, which will be added to household bills for 2020 to 21. The precepts are the amount of council tax that every billing and precepting authority requires in order to finance the service that they provide. So in other words, how much the police want from you out of your council tax bill. Steve White, the Police Crime and Victims Commissioner for Durham and Darlington, said, "Because of the general election, we don't know what the central government grant will be or if there will be any caps on the precept rise, which has made it somewhat difficult to consult. Caps on a council tax rise. I should think the government would rather the people pay more out of what they already struggle with. At least those twats in Parliament will be able to have several decent holidays a year still by not increasing the budget for the police." He went on to say some PCVCs have started the consultation process, but I've taken the view that for it to be meaningful, it should have hard facts and figures attached rather than a guess, which is quite unusual for anyone to do with the police. A former West Midlands Police neighbourhood officer has been offered anonymity at his misconduct hearing by Chief Constable Dave Thompson to protect innocent people associated with him after he was found to have shared chat and an indecent image of a child with a man who has since been convicted of child sex offences. It was said at the misconduct hearing that the nature of the chat that accompanied the image was sexual and indicative of someone who has a sexual interest in children. The unnamed constable, who served with the police for 20 years, was investigated by West Mercia Police, who referred the case to the Crown Prosecution Service, and a decision was made not to prosecute. That's right, people. The CPS said they would not prosecute a police constable who had been sharing explicit child sex material. Well done. Following the criminal investigation, West Midlands Police Professional Standards Department commissioned further investigation of the officer's conduct, which indicated an active sexual interest in underage teenage girls. The hearing, chaired by Chief Constable Dave Thompson on Tuesday the 21st of January, found the actions of the former constable, who resigned in December, had amounted to gross misconduct, and declared that he would have been dismissed without notice had he not already resigned. Chief Constable Thompson said, "It is totally unimaginable that someone who has behaved in this way could remain as a police officer." Is it really that unimaginable? He has brought great shame on the police, and there are no mitigating factors. There should never be a mitigating factor in this kind of case. The former officer who did not attend the hearing will also be barred from being employed or appointed by a police force or other specified law enforcement body for a minimum of 5 years. Not for life, but for 5 years. So in conclusion to this report, the unnamed constable was ultimately let off, can now go and find another job with no convictions to disclose, meaning he can now go and work with children, and in 5 years' time he can rejoin the police. Some fucking punishment. No wonder there are so few paedophiles in a police force with this kind of punishment. Oh wait, that's not how it works at all, is it? Sussex Police Inspector Anthony Lumb, based in Brighton, is to face a misconduct hearing on Friday over accusations in respect of authority, respect and courtesy, duties and responsibilities, and discreditable conduct. Got full pack there. The conduct is allegedly acting inappropriately on several occasions when he engaged in sexual activity while on duty. The conduct is alleged to have taken place between 2002 and 2016. Nice to see you acted rapidly on this. However, I'll follow up on this when I have more information, as that's literally all there is at the moment. Anyway, that's all I have for you today. Please like, comment and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts, as I know many of you will. And until next time, stay safe, look after each other, film the police and other officials.
Good night, all.
Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. If you like the content and you'd like to help support the channel, you can do so. In the description of every video there are some links to ways that you're able to help support the channel so I can continue putting out content. If you're unable to help us in that way, hit that subscribe button up the top there. If you haven't already, become a subscriber. That is support enough. Share the videos, comment, like, it all helps. If you're looking for something else to watch, up top there is my latest video. Down the bottom there is a video that YouTube recommends for you.